Myself Chandrakant Tarakiri. In my earlier class, we already discussed about WTO, World Trade Organization, and its functions and all. So in today's class, we'll continue the same process and we'll discuss difference between GATT and WTO. Then we will discuss meaning, advantages, and disadvantages of trade blocks. Then some trade blocks we'll discuss, that is NAFTA, SAARC, and EC. So in this slide we will discuss difference between GATT and WTO. So GATT was ad hoc and provisional. The WTO and its agreement are permanent, with the WTO having a sound legal basis because members have ratified the WTO agreements. So as a provisional basis the GATT was happen, and in WTO it's a permanent agreement. Next, GATT refers to an international multilateral treaty to promote international trade and remove cross-country trade barriers. On the contrary, WTO is a global body which superseded GATT and deals with the rules of international trade between member nations. So, the GATT was superseded by WTO. So next, while GATT is a simple agreement, there is no institutional existence but have a small secretariat. Conversely, WTO is a permanent institution along with a secretariat. So it's having secretariat, and GATT is not having the institutional secretariat. Then the participating nations are called as contracting parties in GATT, whereas for WTO they are called member nations. So there it will call contracting parties, here it's a member nations. The grandfather clause in the protocol of provisional application in GATT 1947 has not been carried forward to WTO. WTO contains an improved version of original GATT rules, GATT rules 1994. GATT commitments are provisional in nature, which after 47 years the government can make a choice to treat it as a permanent commitment or not. On the other hand, WTO commitments are permanent since they are very beginning. The scope of WTO is wider than that of GATT in the sense that the rules of GATT are applied only when the trade is made in goods, as opposed to WTO, whose rules are applicable to services and aspects of intellectual property along with the goods. So GATT will consider only goods, but in WTO it's considered intellectual property as well as service and goods. GATT agreement is primarily multilateral, but the plurilateral agreement is added to it later. In contrast, WTO agreements are purely multilateral. The domestic legislation is allowed to continue in GATT, while the same is not possible in the case of WTO. The dispute settlement system of GATT was slower, less automatic, and susceptible to blockages, unlike WTO whose dispute settlement system is very effective. In this slides we will discuss trade blocks. So these are the sources where I am taken this information. So you can also visit to that website and you can get the more information about the trade blocks. So what is trade block? A trade block is a type of intergovernmental agreement, often part of a regional intergovernmental organization, where barriers to trade, tariffs and others are reduced or eliminated among the participating states. My dear students, in college also we are making a group. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, some countries are getting together and they are forming a block. So that we will discuss later. So that is to reduce the barriers of the trade, tariffs regarding taxes, regarding quotas, non-tariffs. So to improve their business within that countries, within that area. So they are making a trade blocks, as we have discussed Chamber of Commerce in my earlier classes. So same way here also they are making some trade blocks. So to eliminate among the participating states, the barriers of trade they are eliminating. ಏನಾದರೂ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳಾದರೆ ಆ ನೇಷನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆದರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಫ್ರೀ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲೈಸೇಷನ್ನು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ಗಳಿದ್ದರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸರಿಪಡಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Of this trade blocks, first one, competition. Trade blocks force the manufacturers in participating countries to compete with each other. Increased competition creates pressure for greater efficiency within firms, which results in lower prices for consumers. So what happened when the movement of materials from one country to another country, so then the monopoly will change. So there will be a competition. Because of competition, you will get a good material and a good price or in low price. So when there is a trade blocks, in trade blocks, some countries will be involved. In that particular trade block is having a member countries. So whatever that member countries are manufacturing in their country, that material will move to all the countries. So when there is a competition, automatically you will get a good product with low price. Economies of scale. The larger market created by trade blocks permit companies to take advantage of economies of scale, since the average cost of each good produced tends to fall as production increases. This results in lower prices for consumers. So when there is a huge manufacturing, for example, in one country they are manufacturing more, but the demand is very less. In other country they are manufacturing less, same product, but the demand is more. Then where the more manufacturing country is there, that they will export to other member countries. So automatically what will happen, their products also sell in other country and they will get a low price material. Improved market efficiency. Increased competition and the removal of tariffs, which may act as a price floor, drive down prices and allow for increased consumption. This reduces dead weight loss and hence improves market efficiency. So where there is a removal of tariffs, ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದು ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟನ್ನು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, where there is a competition, the manufacturer will think that to produce more quality products. ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟು ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಇರಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ, ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ವೆನ್ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್, automatically the market efficiency will get increase. Increase foreign direct investment. So this is also one of the important point. Trade block in ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, one country ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು countryಗೆ they can also invest in other countries. An increase in foreign direct investment may result from the creation of trade blocks. This can benefit the economies of participating nations by creating jobs in new or expanded businesses. So one country could have, they may be having good in finance, or other countries having some resources. So to extract that resources or for helping the manufacturing process, who are having the finance, they can also invest in other countries. ತಮ್ಮ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ಯಾವ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದೇರ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ. ದೆನ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾರಿಫ್ಸ್. ಟ್ಯಾರಿಫ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಸ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಆ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಬೈಯಿಂಗು ಅಥವಾ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ರಿಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಸ್ which drive down the cost of imports. As a result, consumers can save money by buying imported goods when cheaper than locally produced ones. They can then spend those savings on other goods. Reducing the cost of imports also reduces the cost of locally produced goods that use imported parts of or components. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಬೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಚೈನಾ. So they are manufacturing huge material in a bulk, they are manufacturing, so their manufacturing cost is very less, so they are selling with very cheaper cost. So compared to our country price and their country price, so automatically we are getting material from the China. So our material price will automatically become less. Of this trade blocks concessions. No country wants to let foreign firms gain domestic market share at the expenses of local companies without getting something in return. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಆಗಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶದವ್ರು ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಬಯಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಕನ್ಸೆಷನ್ ನಮಗಿರುವಂಥ ಕನ್ಸೆಷನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಲೋ ದಿಸ್. Interdependence. Because trading blocks increase trade among participating countries, those countries become increasingly dependent on each other. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, interdependence ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So you are depending on other countries. If they are not manufacturing, then you will have a suffer. So ಅಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಾಗುವಂಥ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್. Then loss of sovereignty. A trading bloc, particularly when it is coupled with a political goal, is likely to lead to a least partial loss of sovereignty for its participants. ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮತ್ವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಸಾವರ್ಜಿನಿಟಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮತ್ವವನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಂಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಗುಡ್ ಇನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೊನೊಪೊಲಿ ಇನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್, ದಟ್ ವೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಸ್, automatically if they are member of the trade blocks, they have to follow the rules and regulations of the trade blocks. So that may be a little bit loss, they will lose their sovereignty. Rationalism and multinationalism. So next in this slide we will discuss some trade blocks. First one we will discuss NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. So this is one of the trade block, very important trade block, North American Free Trade Agreement. So the North American Free Trade Agreement is a comprehensive trade agreement that sets the rules of trade and investment between Canada, the United States and Mexico. So basically this NAFTA member countries are Canada and United States and Mexico. Within these three countries, whatever trades are happening, trade agreements are happening, that will be taken care by this North American Free Trade Agreement. NAFTA has systematically eliminated most tariff and non-tariff barriers to free trade and investment between the three NAFTA countries. They have removed the taxes, then they have removed some quota system. So that was helped to increase their trade in that three countries. And this NAFTA was established in January 1994. And the member countries are Canada, Mexico and United States. Then official languages is English, French and Spanish. Secretariats Mexico City, Ottawa, Washington DC. So this is the brief introduction about NAFTA. So what are the objectives of NAFTA? To eliminate trade barriers and facilitate the cross-border movements of goods and services between the parties. So whatever the trade barriers are there in between the three countries, that will be removed. So they are helping to increase their sales. To promote conditions of fair competition. So they are promoting the fair competition. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಮೋಸ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ವಂಚನೆ ಆಗಲಾರ್ದಂಗೆ they are increasing the fair competition. To substantially increase investment opportunities. So in Canada, Mexico and United States, if they are having sufficient funds or more funds, they can invest in Canada, or Canada can invest in United States. So like that they are increasing the investment opportunities. To provide adequate and effective protection and enforcement of intellectual property rights in each territory. So our block nalli if any intellectual properties are there, so that rights they are protecting. Then to create effective procedures for the implementation and application of this agreement for its joint administration and for resolution of disputes. So any disputes is there, that will be resolved. To establish a framework for further trilateral, regional and multilateral cooperation to expand and enhance benefits of this agreement. So ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ agreement ಇದ್ದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರ benefits ಅನ್ನ within that three member countries can share. So in this slide, we'll discuss functions of NAFTA. So the first function, NAFTA grants the most favored nation status to all co-signers. So all will be think as most favored nations. That means countries must give all parties equal treatment. So all are equal. Whatever countries are belongs to that trade bloc, they will treat that all are equal. So that includes foreign direct investment also. So next, NAFTA eliminate tariffs on imports and exports between the three countries. They are eliminating the tariffs related to imports and exports. Any taxes are there, that will be reduced or that will be eliminated. Whatever exports and imports are happening within that three countries, the taxes will be eliminated. Exporters must get certificate of origin to waive tariffs. So my dear students, as I discussed in my earlier classes regarding certificate of origin, so certificate of origin means in which country that product was manufactured. So that means the export must originate in the United States, Canada or Mexico. If the product is manufactured within these three countries, when they are issuing the certificate of origin, so the tax may be reduced. Then NAFTA established procedures to resolve trade disputes. So any disputes will be there between the three countries, that will be reduced or disputes will be resolved. All NAFTA countries must respect patents, trademarks and copyrights. So if any patents are there, trademarks are there, copyrights are there, that has to be respect. Then the agreement allows business travelers easy access throughout all three countries. So if any business travelers are there, they can easily move from one country to. We will learn about another trade blocks. So in this trade block, you are also there. So SAARC countries flags. These are the countries belongs to SAARC. So South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. So in this SAARC trade bloc, what are the countries or what are the member countries? So in this Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, India, Pakistan and Afghanistan. My dear students, you can see that in this picture. So all are near neighbor countries, what you say, neighbor countries of India. So they have made a one South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SAARC. The South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation is the regional intergovernmental organization and geopolitical union of states in South Asia. Its member states are Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Member Afghanistan. Date founded 8th December 1985. Geographic scope Southern Asia. Objectives of this SAARC: to promote cooperation among central banks and finance ministers in SAARC member countries through staff visits and regular exchange of information. So they are helping each other. They are giving the loans or they are helping through finance and they are sharing the information also. To consider and propose harmonization of banking legislations and practice within the region. To work towards a more efficient payment system mechanism within the SAARC region and strive for higher monetary and exchange cooperation. to forge closer cooperation on macroeconomic policies of SAARC member states and to share experiences and ideas, to study global financial developments and their impact on region, including discussions relating to emerging issues in the financial architecture, IMF and World Bank and other international lending agencies, to monitor reforms of the international financial and monetary system and to evolve a consensus among SAARC countries in respect of the reforms. These are all objectives related to finance. So in other objectives also, you can to evolve whenever feasible joint strategies, plan and common approaches in international for mutual benefit, particularly in the context of liberalization of financial services, to undertake training of staff of the ministries of finance, central banks and other financial institutions of the SAARC member countries in subjects relating to economics and finance, to explore networking of the training institution within SAARC region specializing in various aspects of monetary policy, exchange rate reforms, bank supervision and capital market issues, to promote research on economic and finance issues for the mutual benefits of SAARC member countries, to consider any other matter on the direction or request of the SAARC Finance Council of Ministers or other SAARC bodies. What are the functions of SAARC? The main function of SAARC have been mentioned below: to maintain the cooperation in the region, to prevent the common problems, to ensure strong relationship among the SAARC country, to remove the poverty in this region permanently, to prevent the terrorism in this region. European Economic Community. European Economic Community. So we'll see the introduction of this. The EEC was created in 1957 by the Treaty of Rome, which was signed by Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands and West Germany. The United Kingdom, Denmark and Ireland joined in 1973, followed by Greece in 1981 and Portugal and Spain in 1986. The former East Germany was admitted as part of the reunified Germany in 1990. The EC was designed to create a common market among its members through the elimination of most trade barriers and the establishment of a common external trade policy. The treaty also provided for a common agricultural policy, which was established in 1962 to protect EEC farmers from agricultural imports. The first reduction in EEC internal tariffs was implemented in January 1959, and by July 1968, all internal tariffs had been removed. Between 1958 and 1968, trade among the EEC members quadrupled in value. So this is EEC is also is basically for reducing the tariffs and other things. The objectives of this: the removal of custom duties and import-export quotas between each other, then the establishment of common tariff and commercial policy for the outside nations, the abolition within the community of obstacles to the free movement of labor and capital within that countries, the inauguration of common agricultural and transport policies within that countries who are member countries of this EEC. So they are inaugurating the common agriculture and transport policies. Then the establishment of system ensuring competition in the common market, the adoption of procedures for coordination of the economic policies of member nations and for remedying their balance of payments disequilibrium. Basic goals in the coordination process include external balance, full employment and price stability. So these are the seventh objective is the coordination of legislation of member states for the smooth functioning of the common market. The establishment of European Social Fund for easing the readjustment problem of workers experiencing unemployment as a consequence of trade liberalization. Then the creation of European Investment Fund, which will give financial aid to the industrialists to improve workers' conditions in the underdeveloped regions of the component states. Another purpose of such a fund is to help in financing projects of European importance. Last one, the Association of Dependent Overseas Terrorists within the economic community. Hence, an overseas development fund was also established in 1958, empowered to provide loans for projects in the affiliated overseas territories. These are the websites where I've taken this information regarding the trade blocks, WTO, NAFTA, SAARC, and EC. So you can also visit these websites and you can get the informations if you require more information regarding the this WTO trade blocks. In this class, we have discussed difference between WTO and GATT. Then we have discussed trade blocks, meaning, advantages and disadvantages, and we have discussed about some trade blocks, NAFTA, SAARC, and EC. So thank you, students. We'll meet in other class.